chapter president. I gave my first bad golf lesson in 1976, and I haven't improved a whole lot since then, but there's always hope. I'll be sharing the moderator duties with our Oregon Education Chairman, Chris Wood. And Chris is a regional manager and director of instruction at Golf Tech. Any complaints you might have with regard to this chat should be directed toward Chris.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Chris. We're joined today by Maggie Simons. Maggie has been at the Oregon Golf Club for 3.5 years. She played her college golf at Wake Forest, played on the Symetra Tour for 3 years, and is the 2019 Oregon Chapter Teacher of the Year. So we welcome Maggie. We're also joined by Noah Horstman, who is an instructor at the Southern Oregon Golf Academy. Noah sent us about a 4-page bio, and I'll just hit the high points. He was named 2015 through 2019 Golf Digest Best Teacher by State. He's a golf range top 50 growth of the game teaching professional in 2017, 18, and 19. He was awarded Northern Ohio Section Teacher of the Year in, I believe, 2015 or 2014 and 16, and the Northern Ohio Section Youth Player Development Award winner. Pretty impressive bio. He also took 3rd place in the 5th grade spelling bee. I thought I'd throw that in there. Congratulations on that one, Noah. The purpose, I want to state the purpose of the chat is to share the challenges that we're facing right now with regard to the pandemic. It's difficult for some of us to teach at all, particularly here in Washington. Our challenges are different than those in Oregon, but we would like to hear the Washington and as well as the Oregon ideas on how they're approaching teaching at the current time. Dominic mentioned the chat button. By all means, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to type them into that chat section. I know that there's a lot of different opinions on how to approach teaching, so I want to remind everybody, let's be respectful. Our egos can sometimes get involved here. So no kicking, biting, scratching, spitting, or low blows. If you have any hair to pull, do it quietly. Otherwise, certainly chime in when you'd like to add something to the conversation. And with that, Christopher, why don't you get us started?
Awesome.
With the first question directed to one of our guest instructors.
First of all, thank you for that warm introduction, Harold. And I will send an email with all complaints to you. Let's start ladies first. Maggie, how you doing? How you holding up?
You know, feels like Groundhog Day every day, but hanging in there.
Exactly. Good. Great question for you. What are you doing to stay connected with your students / members? You're at a private country club. How is that all working for you?
So, first of all, we are open. We're walking only on the golf course. Our practice facility is open. We have mats that are 10 feet apart, so it limits the amount of spots that we have. And we're still able to teach individual lessons. So I'm still teaching individual lessons keeping the 6-foot distance. I'm wearing gloves and not touching their equipment, which is hard because I'm used to, reaching in their bag, pulling stuff out. So it's definitely a lot of just natural habits that you have to break. But I think one of the big things that I've tried to do, because even though we're open, a lot of members are choosing not to come out. They're staying at home, which is I totally respect. And so I've been doing these videos that I'm posting on social media, calling it Golf at Home. I think I've done 17 or 18 of them. Just fun indoor games, drills that you can do at home, just to keep them thinking about golf and remembering that we're still here. And when they're ready to come out, we're ready to get them back into golf.
Awesome. Brandon wants to know, are you or any of the students wearing masks?
No. Our GM has masks coming this week if we decide that we feel like we want to wear them. But I'm comfortable not wearing them. I'm comfortable keeping my distance. And I assume that my students, if they're coming for a lesson, that they feel comfortable as well. So they're definitely welcome to wear them. But at this point, we're not wearing masks. I'm wearing gloves.
Awesome. Good. Noah, same question. What are you doing? You're in a different, you're at an academy. You have your own academy. So what are you doing to stay connected with students and members?
Yeah, so we have 3 facilities that we're at. Oaknell Golf Course, which is a municipal, and it is actually closed. And then Centennial Golf Club, which is a high-end public, and then Rogue Valley Country Club. And interesting, similar to what Maggie said, Centennial and Rogue Valley are open, but they have had to limit their range spaces, moving them apart every other mat. We're fortunate where we have a back end of the range to teach at both of those facilities. And for us, we have continued to teach and coach, but we have limited the number of participants in each class. And we have had to plan like crazy in order to keep them the distances. So we're actually utilizing alignment sticks or other cones to give them their own space. Obviously, depending on the junior class, you have to be very careful with that because 5-year-olds don't want to run all over the place and try to touch somebody and something. So there are different challenges. We've had a lot of meetings because we have 5 coaches that teach at our academy with Ed and I. And those meetings were, how do we disinfect? How do we social distance in those? And so we have disinfecting wipes everywhere. If we ever use a training aid, it's wiped down immediately. We can wear gloves. We have rubber gloves for every class. And then our coaches choose to wear masks if they decide to. But it's been pretty unique and fun to have to think differently on how you are going to plan and how you're going to teach those students, like Maggie said, not being able to just jump into their golf bags. I did fittings this Saturday, and you have to constantly think before you react. And so it is a challenge, but it's a lot of fun to teach differently for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of wiping down everything when you're doing fittings, especially.
Here you go, right there.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask, if I could jump in, Chris. I wanted to ask both of you, and either one can respond to this. With the distance and social distancing issues that we have with teaching, there's going to be a lot less focus on physical manipulation of the golf swing and a lot more focus on how we say things, because it can be very misleading. It's easy to demonstrate. I guess we can physically demonstrate in a swing, but putting a person in a specific position can really makes an impact, and I think far greater than telling them what that position is. How are you overcoming that challenge?
I'll hop in there. That's very hard. I personally am a very hands-on instructor. I like to get in there and manipulate the club, let them feel the position and let them tell me what they feel. Because like you said, I can demonstrate and tell them what I feel in a certain position, but getting their feedback on what their sensation is super important and is typically an integral part of my teaching. So there's a lot of demonstrating and kind of mirroring. I'll stand in in front of them or to the side of them, whatever I'm working on, and have them try to mirror me. And sometimes I'll stick my club up there to their club and kind of move it. So I'm not touching them, but I'll move their shaft or something with the club of my club. But it's hard because my natural instinct is to want to get in there and move them around. But I think I'm always just without trying not to complain. I'm thankful that we're able to still teach and have a job. And like Noah said, it's definitely a challenge to try to do something differently than you're used to, and it makes you appreciate the normalcy that we hopefully will have again soon.
Yeah, Harold, to echo what Maggie said, obviously we have these unique alignment sticks that are about 6 feet long, actually. So I've actually utilized those same to manipulate students into certain positions and Lysol or whatnot to avoid the social distance barrier. Also, technology's been super helpful. So launch monitor technology, we have K-vests that we can't put them in right now. We have body track, we're okay with using that as long as we clean it up and stuff after. And then a lot of video, Coach Now, things like that. So the other thing that we've been doing at our academy level is updating our CRM. And we've been making sure that if we haven't talked to somebody in 30 days, that we reach out to them right away and see how they're doing with everything and just keep that personal contact, which has been huge and has actually led to a lot more teaching opportunity for our coaches. So
that's a great approach to stay in contact with your students. We do that sometimes during the year anyway, but this can kind of present an opportunity. It demonstrates that we care about them personally, not just their golf swings, but their health. Go ahead, Chris.
I got a question from Tyler. He wants, this is for both Maggie and Noah. Have you been utilizing Operation 36 at home videos? And if so, any opinions or value of that?
Yes, I have. So Operation 36 is a program that we run at the Oregon Golf Club, and the guys over at the headquarters there they made these at-home videos they're sending out every week. And even for those that aren't registered with Operation 36, it's free. Every week you get an email. There's an activity, like a coloring activity for your juniors. There's a skill that they learn, and then there's a fun at-home game. So I sent that out to all of my families that are involved in our junior golf program, and they automatically just get an email each week with a different activity. And then in some of my videos, I've demonstrated a couple of them. There's some with a Nerf gun and some fun stuff like that. So I've done some of them personally and sent them out on my videos on social media.
That's awesome. Noah?
Yeah, same with our academy. So we run Operation 36 quite frequently, and some of our things aren't called Operation 36, but we utilize the platform. And like Maggie, we do a lot of homework, a lot of things that they send home. We also are an LPGA girls golf site. And recently we're lucky because we are still having the classes at a smaller. So last week we made goo with the girls and things like that. Just fun things outside of golf to get their minds off of what's really going on and have some fun out there and really get them to enjoy it and still play golf, even if they're doing other things. So
awesome. And Harold, if you don't have a question, I got another one.
Well, I always have questions.
Okay, so hold for one then. I got Patrick here wants to know, because I know Maggie. Yeah, I'm friends on Facebook, and I know she does a lot of really cool tips and videos on Facebook. And Patrick's wondering either Maggie or Nora done any individual lessons via Zoom or Google, etc. And if so, how successful was it?
I personally have not. It's been on my list of things to do, but I have not personally utilized the online lesson platform yet. But I know a lot of people that have and have been very successful doing it.
Just out of curiosity, I know the Facebook post you put on there with your chips and your drills. Do those go to your members as well, or is it just a Facebook platform you're using?
I put it on Instagram. I do it through Instagram TV, and then I go onto Facebook and just post the video that I made as well. And I sent an email out to our membership telling them to follow me on the social media platforms.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So that email did go out, and most of them are following me now, and gotten a lot of positive feedback.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
And then Noah, have you done anything Zoom or Google?
Yeah, so our entire academy has Coach Now, which is an app that you pay for, and basically it's like Facebook for athletes. And so they can actually message you right away, send you a video on there. So we've actually been doing that, and I've been doing it for about 4 years, but it's a wonderful opportunity, especially right now from the comfort of your own home. We also did a promotion where you could, we started doing fitness. So on Wednesday mornings at 7:30, I come into our little Stoga vault room here, and I'll do a Zoom fitness with about 10 people. And part of that package was potentially to have some time privately. So whether it was a swing analysis or a full-on lesson. And it goes really smoothly, to tell you the truth. And you can do something as simple as just FaceTiming with them, or you can get into it and have them send it to you. You can analyze it, send it back. And another way to make some additional income during this time if you're not working. So.
Awesome. Kick it back to Harold.
Yeah, I wanted to ask relative to or follow up to Chris's questions. Maggie, you said you're getting some feedback on your videos. Is there any specific feedback you're getting? Is it just on the quality, or anything you can add to that?
Yeah. So I've been using our ladies' locker room as kind of my filming area, because we've taken all the tables and seating out because we don't want people gathering and sitting. So I have a nice big room, and so I've left my tripod up in there, and I've had a divine notes in that tripod saying, love your videos, keep it going. Like these little notes just pop up each day from different ladies, which has been nice. And then members that I'll see just making the turn, who I wouldn't really think would be interested in my videos, saying, love your videos, did that with my kid at home, or, keep them up, I'm watching them every day. So just people that I wouldn't have really put in the category of watching my kind of silly videos have said that they're really enjoying them. So it's been nice to hear.
Good. Chris, can you read some of the chats that we're getting? There's one from Brandon Richardson, another one from Tyler Wong.
Brendan says, I've been doing some classes via Zoom and some private real-time coaching via FaceTime since the course is closed here in California. Built a virtual vault over the years that I pair with online programs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I did have a question for Noah, and you almost answered it before I had a chance to ask it, and that was, are you doing anything with exercise or physical workouts? And you said you were on a Wednesday. Now, to a group of 10, that could be a challenge as far as keeping people separated, or practicing social distancing. You're wearing masks during that. How are you handling it?
Yeah, so I'll specify that was through Zoom, actually. So you're asking online. So we have a Zoom, and we have anywhere from 10 to 12 on there, including some of our Elite Academy kids that jump on. So that's an 8-week session that we started. And yeah, they're in the comfort of their own home at 7:30 a.m. And all they need is themselves, a golf club, and then potentially this week we're starting out with TheraBand work. So it's all body weight, very low impact. And what's great about it is they're actually learning how to swing the golf club without a club, which gets in the way, and then without a target and a ball, which really gets in the way. So speed training, we have a class on Tuesdays and Thursdays that we're starting up through Zoom. And then those go right into our normal classes that would be outside on those days when we get out of this COVID.
So how do you handle a group? You said you had a group of girls outside or something that you were working with. How do you handle, you have any changes in a group lesson environment?
Yeah, so with the country club, they actually closed the clubhouse and they have some food to go. And so the general manager asked if we would run a complimentary class for the social membership, just because obviously as social members, they weren't really getting their value and they didn't want them to resign. So they allowed them to use the golf course. But since a lot of them hadn't played golf, we ran 4 weeks, 3 classes a week, and we just got done last week of complimentary classes, 1 hour. And Coach Jessica Young, who's a new associate that works for us, she and one of our other coaches, Ryan, were running that. And what was really cool was I was at the first couple, and I would drop in once in a while, and they would actually put 11 sticks in a row, and it was all short game. So it's pretty simple and easy. It was all fundamental based. But if there was any juniors, like in our LPGA girls one, kind of to go off topic here, but what you were asking about, there was only 3 girls in that class, so it wasn't too bad, and one was my daughter, so I could run up to her if I needed to.
I remember classes and a daughter-in-law and a wife and other, make it look like I had a big class. We have a phrase of the day, Dominic reminded me of, that is relative to, it's nothing clever, it's something that is necessary for an MSR point, and that phrase is, go ahead, Chris.
COVID-19, the reason why we're all here.
Awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
Great. Well, we don't have much choice in that right now. We have any instructors from Washington that are dealing with their golf course being closed? Can you chime in or send us a chat on what you might be doing? Okay. I'm wondering with video, I've used video for quite some time, relied on it, and I too am a hands-on instructor, but video is really helpful. But through all of this, have you noticed, either one of you, your basic philosophy of teaching, has it changed at all? I know our approaches are changing, but anything coming to mind that you're saying, I think I'm going to do this differently in the future? If not, great. It's fine. But
Go ahead, Maggie.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I think it makes me appreciate some of the things that I was able to do before having to distance myself. I wouldn't say, I would say I think the videos are something that, I'll continue to do. I did some here and there before all of this, but I think just that connection with the membership, and maybe people that may have been intimidated to take lessons before, to see that I'm pretty lighthearted and silly and fun, and it's not super intimidating to come take a lesson. So I think that's what I'll continue to do. Probably not every single day like I've been doing it, but definitely something that I think I'll continue to do after all this is over as well.
How about you, Noah? Anything come to mind that you're saying, I think I'm going to change my thoughts about teaching?
Well, look, we meet every week, and Ed Fisher is my partner in the academy, and we have 5 instructors, and so we're always constantly challenging each other and talking to each other as a team and a family. And so it's always fun, but my philosophy has always been that every player is different. And so I'm going to keep that philosophy probably forever, because with technology and with everything else that we use, it keeps proving time and time again, I'm not going to teach the same way to each person because they learn differently. So, and I love what Maggie said, and we're a Golf Channel Academy too, and so we're lucky because we do have some help in Florida with marketing. And so usually I'll create a lot of things with our other coaches, and then we'll send it off and they'll put some stuff online. And it's just been super helpful to be able to give those free tips out and things like that and give something back. I think it's really helpful, and it also encourages people. And in the Rogue Valley, we've had the best spring that I can remember when I grew up here, and they're getting 200 people at Centennial a day playing golf, and Rogue Valley is 150 plus a day, so people want to be playing, and it's in a way really forward-looking, positive for the golf industry and what we're seeing. Even if it's not just taking lessons right now, all the play that we are seeing down here is incredible. So,
I wanted to ask Chris a question. I know I don't know if you prepared for this, Chris, but anyway.
No one said there was going to be any questions for me.
At Golf Tech, I mean, that's an enclosed environment. So your offices and your instruction areas are all closed down. What are you doing?
So we're using a format where every one of our coaches has an iPad that's given to you by the company. We're basically recording lessons that we've already given, and then like basically doing a revamp of that lesson back to the students. And then we also have partnerships with outdoor facilities. So Chuck De Silva at Rock Creek has been fantastic. Chris Smith, I'm not Chris Smith, Chris Rogers at Reserve, Mark Keaton at OGA. They've all been very helpful in allowing us to go outside and use the facilities for playing lessons. So that's been great. So that's how we're kind of staying interactive. And then emails, coaches are staying in contact with their students weekly.
Okay. You got any questions you want to shoot out right now?
I wanted to find out with, one of our main things is to grow the game. So with these challenging times, with Maggie, I don't know if you're just restricted to just your membership and there's no guests and stuff like that. And with the membership, it sounded like you've sent out some videos and you're getting some feedback from people you didn't even think would even reach out. Are you finding some opportunities to grow a little bit more based on that and getting some more instructional stuff that might be coming in via the stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, so we are just limited to members, not allowing any guests. So I think the videos have opened up the door for other people who are newer members than me. So I've met a lot of our newer members and been able to discuss hopefully the future of what we have coming up in instruction. We have not done any group classes yet, but I got the go-ahead from our GM this past week. Our Operation 36 semester was supposed to start April 1st, and we obviously had to scrap that. So I'm doing, starting next week, some 4-person junior Operation 36 classes. They're going to come twice a week for a month. So they'll have 8 classes, because now that they're not in school, they can come during the day. So I can add multiple classes. So, we're going to start that. I think the challenge is I can't fit all the kids in, with limiting it to 4 people, but it's a start to getting back at least to somewhat normalcy and being able to teach the juniors.
Awesome.
And that's what we've got going on.
That's really good. And then Noah, with the academy, are you seeing like some increases, or is it staying pretty flat? Are you being able to grow more or less with this?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was really paying attention to that a lot this week. And we are continuing to grow, but we're only 11 months old. And this is the first year at Rogue Valley, and opening more facilities, there's, hopefully that continues to happen. But what I found is we've had to adapt, similar to Maggie, where, okay, if we have something like this happening, what opportunities do we have? So that's when we started the video fitness, and that's when we said, let's limit the number of people, which actually created more demand all of a sudden when you send that out, not meaning to say, hey, there's only 9 spots, but people fill up. So all of our classes have filled up now, and they also know the student-teacher ratio, and we keep it low anyway, but just for them to know that, which has been great. So we've actually had to add some classes. We're talking about that same operator stuff. It's interesting. With multiple instructors, it makes it a little easier, I think, to be able to keep it 5 to 1 or 6 to 1 and spread them out if we need to. So
that's awesome. Great job.
Are either of you finding that this current situation is offering more opportunities for playing lessons? Have you been giving any?
Yes, I have. I've been doing quite a few playing lessons. We're walking only, so it's kind of nice to we can keep our distance, but have that. I've been doing really just 9-hole playing lessons, but just to have that time with my students, and then our tee sheet's so packed that we'll have 2 other people join our tee time, and getting to interact with members that way as well. But yeah, doing the playing lessons have been great during this time.
How about you, Noah? Giving any playing lessons?
Yeah, absolutely. So we still have our Elite Academy on Fridays and Saturdays, and keep that ratio low. So we're on the course a lot with those kids. And then just on a regular basis, depending on where the student is, if they're having a good lesson on the driving range, I'm getting them on the golf course right away anyway. That's also part of my philosophy is if you stay on the range, you're going to probably go out and practice. If you get on the course, you're probably going to go play, which, like Maggie and Operation 36 are trying to get them on the golf course. So I think that's super strong for us as professionals to get on the course anytime we can.
Do either of you use body track or blast motion or any other technology that you really are into?
Yeah. So Ed Fisher, my partner, loves blast motion, and he does a great job with it. He's actually doing a clinic on May 1st with the membership and guests here at Rogue Valley for that. And then we have Foresight quads. We have body track. Then we have K-Vest as well. So yeah, pretty much the whole gamut.
Yeah, I really like blast motion because it's a field-oriented approach to teaching as opposed to seeing a bunch of numbers, in a TrackMan. You were mentioning that you did a lot of club fittings, and that really opened my eyes. I'm thinking, how the heck do you pull that off? And you did mention a little bit of what you did, but you had a lot of success monetarily last week with club fitting, didn't you?
Yeah, so we decided to do, because normally there's a large fitting day that most clubs have where all the vendors come out. It's a vendor demo day or whatnot. And I've never been a big fan because usually those days the people buy too quickly and aren't fit necessarily the best they could be. I'll leave it at that. And so by scheduling appointments and having half-hour sessions, and basically we tell them that they can have one thing fit in that half-hour session, and we discounted the price of it just to get them in the door. And we ended up selling over $8,000 in stuff in about 4 hours, 4.5 hours last Saturday. A couple sets of clubs, and people are ready. So every other Saturday now we're going to go between facilities, and it wasn't that difficult. There's 2 ways to do it. One, you can have them email you exactly what their specs are currently. And if they don't know how, you can talk to them on the phone to get shafted, and if they know they're live. 2, the launch monitors, they're not touching them. So you can stay 6 feet away. You've got your iPad out. You can get some info, look at ball flight, all that stuff. It's pretty quick and easy, and it's a lot of fun. A new, kind of a different thing than what we've been doing, which is classes, and I love fitting. So
$8,000 worth of Callaway equipment?
Jay will be happy if you could ever ship. No, you know what? A little bit of everything, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's good.
Brandon's got a question for both of you. Have any of your members or staff at your facilities been hospitalized with the COVID-19?
No, that would be the one thing that would shut us down at this point. Yep. So luckily, knock on wood, everybody's been healthy as far as we know.
Good.
Yeah, we're in the same.
Chris, you got Monty's chat there?
Monty's chat?
Yeah, do you see it?
In the chat, he's been strongly discouraged. Oh.
You want to read that?
I can read it.
Yep.
Chris Smith here on the chat, he's been strongly discouraged from doing playing lessons at ECC. As the GM says, it doesn't look right. Anyone else having a similar issue? Hopefully CS is now okay to do that. Discuss this with him last week. So sounds like Maggie's doing good as long as you're keeping your social distancing and you're not,
Yeah.
You should be okay. I know we haven't at Golf Tech had any issues with that, with playing lessons, keeping social distance, and just doing everything on our iPad. And, it's odd. I know it's probably odd because you can't shake hands. You don't get to. You just standing away, watching and talking is all you're really doing.
Yeah, and I mean, most of my playing lessons ask me to play with them, so it's really just we're playing golf and walking and carrying our bags, and pretty easy to stay 6 feet away.
Yep.
I'm reading all the chats here. Hang on. There's a lot of them coming through. I appreciate our members being involved. I don't know if you guys can read them at all.
I have a question. Yeah, I have a question this could be for anybody on the call who is not currently teaching or instructing or coaching, but after, hearing what some of these individuals are doing, if they may be more apt to start getting back into it now.
Let me see who we've got here. We had Michael Parker was on. Ryan Young out of Seattle said he's been closed down and doing everything virtually. That's all he's left with to do. Does that respond to your or answer what you asked?
Yes. I know there's a number of people doing online and doing videos. I think Ryan is on this call somewhere.
Yeah, he was.
I think I just saw that he was published or is going to be published in Golf Digest.
Hey, Dominic, I'm here, guys. I just had my video off.
Oh, great. Hi, Ryan.
Hey.
Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, I was fortunate to get published in this last month's PGA magazine along with Jason Eichley. But I had a little section in there about how 3 steps to create a golf academy, and for any instructor looking to build more than just a teaching business, what the difference would be in doing a golf academy setup and how one could go about that with their ownership and their facility, and just, kind of headwaying that and always thinking of, what's next for yourself. And especially if you're someone who, thinks that if they could teach full time, then they would, benefit more than part-time when they're not working their counter. So that's kind of what the article is about.
Right.
So I wanted to ask him, he and Ed Fisher started an academy that covers 3 different golf courses. Yours would just be at Chambers Bay, is that correct?
Actually, I've been fortunate, because I've been tied directly with Kemper Sports here. We've expanded, I wouldn't say regionally, but Kemper Sports also manages Lake Spanaway Golf Course here. And then we just, help share best practices ideas with local properties around the West Coast, and just offer help wherever we can, because we have many Kemper Sports facilities with great instructors that just, we're all trying to help each other out, grow that part. So I know Jake down at Heron Lakes in Colwood is doing something very similar, where it's sort of multi-property places where we kind of oversee both sites and help grow both local properties.
So Noah, how did you and Ed get started?
Well, Ed and I have known each other since I was 14. He was my golf instructor, and we've just been really good friends ever since. But we've had a plan for about 10 years to actually start teaching together, and I finally moved back to the area and made a few phone calls to facilities that made a great deal for the next 10 years at multiple facilities, and kind of went from there. So
You actually have a contract with those facilities?
yeah, we have agreements at every facility, so we're pretty fortunate when it comes to that and the way that we've done it. But it's a win-win for all facility types. And I think that I really like what Ryan said, and that for me, I've been a head professional, a general manager, grounds crew, everything. I started working at a course since I was 12, and loved the game. Obviously, played in college, all that stuff. But teaching is really where my passion lies, in coaching, and I feel like knowing the business side of it is really what's allowed me to be successful, though, and putting in marketing efforts and whatnot. It's not as easy as just jumping in and starting something. There's a ton of back end stuff. There's a lot of things out there that can help you, but if you're a single person show, it's very difficult. I mean, but it's super rewarding to be able to continue to grow the game, and I think that's really why we're all doing it. So,
are you looking to expand to other facilities outside the 3 you have?
Yeah, here's where we are. We have a municipal golf course. We have a high-end public that's kind of a resort style with annual memberships in the private 27-hole. Right now, we're in really good position, and in the area that we have, we're already seeing people come from a couple hours away and golf schools from other places. And I have members flying out from Ohio to take lessons from where I was previous at, and Arizona. So having that national reach already has been super helpful with golf schools. But we're really happy in growing the game here. We're at 9 elementary schools. We're partnered up with St. Mary's, and they're recruiting globally for us in China, where we have an international program we're starting. So we're kind of where we really want to be. And I think if we grow too much more than this, it isn't going to necessarily help us. And, just maybe helping other professionals like this is more important. So in their regional areas.
Well, we appreciate that. All of us do. It's always refreshing for me personally to talk to other professionals. I learn something every time. I wanted to ask Maggie, do you ever feel, and I've been at a private course, you ever feel like there was a ceiling as far as how many students you can teach based on other obligations or responsibilities at your golf course?
It's yes. I mean, especially right now, it's tough just because of everything. We've had to lay off a lot of people, and so there's a limited amount of staff, and we're all trying to do everything. But as things get back to normal, and because we have not using golf carts right now, so we don't need the people, in the outside services that are cleaning carts. But once we eventually bring that stuff back, it will teach a little bit more. But as far as not being able, just having the membership, I mean, if we have 450 members, that's a lot of people because they have spouses and kids. So I don't feel limited by the amount of people not being like at a public facility and only really being able to advertise, internally. I know that I've got plenty of people to keep me busy. So, but yeah, I mean, these last couple of weeks of, my responsibilities have changed a bit just to help out the team and make sure that we continue to run safely and can stay open. That's the biggest thing.
Well, if you need a master class in range picking, John Grothy has volunteered to help whoever is in need. He sent me an email on that. He's not on this call because he's out picking the range. So, Chris, did you have anything to add?
I did not at this point. I think this has been really good, really awesome.
Well, I had one more based on what Maggie was just talking about. Are either of you finding the growth of or the number of students coming to you greater with the women, with the kids? What demographic are you finding has the greatest need that you're able to fulfill?
Go ahead, Maggie.
I think before all of this, I had a lot of great programs planned for beginner ladies and doing a ladies Operation 36 class. So I know that need is there because we had classes that were full. Unfortunately, I'm not able to them, but I'd say the women and juniors are the biggest kind of demographic that I see with us.
What about you, Noah?
Yeah, so obviously we target our juniors first, and ladies second. Our goal is to have 400 new girls playing in the next few years. So that's where the elementary schools came in and OPGA girls golf and whatnot. Yeah, so then a lot of times it just seems natural for the husbands to want to start taking lessons as the improvement comes from the juniors. Fundamentals of golf classes every Saturday. It's $25 for 90 minutes, and it just gets them in the door. And then, we have a little of something for everybody. We have over 50 different player development programs between the 3 facilities throughout the whole year. We keep going down here because we don't get the snow and the rain like the Willamette Valley does. So, and then adding this indoor facility, it worked really well this winter. And Ed came in and painted the walls and made it look good. It used to be a junior room that was never used. It literally had 4 lockers and dusty seats and tables. And so now the juniors can use it, and there's a net, and it looks down the 18th fairway. So you can actually hit balls out towards the course. So it's been super helpful.
How many can you get in there? One at a time?
As far as hitting goes, one at a time. We've got about 8 academy kids in here because we also use it as a meeting room. We have whiteboards, we have a TV, all that stuff. And we'll have competition, simulation, stuff like that. So we had a simulator league this year and some things like that. So it was a blast.
Yeah, Maggie, do you have, I don't know if Oregon has anything indoors. Do you have anything there that you use?
We just have the covered, we have about 12 spots that are covered and heated on our range. But we don't have an official teaching building.
Boy, wouldn't you like one, huh?
I would. Yep.
And Grothy can help you with that too, with designing that.
I know.
If I may, I'd like to shout out to Patrick Oropalo and Vince Damenzine for their work with PGA Hope and helping the veterans through the Southern Oregon VA Rehabilitation Center here in Medford. I know we've tried to care for our veterans and teach them, and both as a therapeutic way to get through these times. And they're both doing some work both at Oak Knoll and probably with Noah as well, and Vince at Stone Ridge Golf Course. And just to add to that, I myself have been very removed for years from teaching because of my other role and responsibilities. And I'm grateful to the PGA of America for giving us professionals, PGA members and associates, the opportunity to use PGA.org and re-educate ourselves if we've been away from teaching, because it's a combination, as we all know, of an art and science, and you may have taught or used that skill set years in the past, but we can always re-educate. So I'm grateful for those things, for our chapters and our section as well.
Thanks, Norm. I wanted to ask Patrick if are you teaching, or Norm, do you know of them teaching any veterans right at the moment?
Yes, and I think your offer to have Patrick, if he's still on, he could tell you, but he and Vince have been working with the Veterans Golf Club in Southern Oregon, and just got a schedule today myself. I think I'll start to volunteer and be included in that. And we have lessons scheduled every Tuesday starting May through July. I think I'll find our veterans will find very encouraging. And as you and Dominic all have said, it's a great opportunity for us not only to give back to our veterans, but grow the game of golf. I hope there's even a greater possibility in drawing in beyond rehabilitation or therapeutic veterans within all of our section. I know we do a lot with Folds of Honor, but I think that the veteran marketplace is a great untapped opportunity for teaching and coaching.
There's Patrick. Go for it, bud.
So we're trying to get clarification from the VA when it'll be when we'll be able to work with them again. So we're just clarifying the schedule, but we do intend on having 5 sessions with veterans, and with help from Norm and Vince and others, we should be able to maybe serve that community at a greater effort. But Unfortunately, for right now, we've had to put it on hold until the VA feels comfortable busing the participants to the different facilities.
Patrick, as a veteran, thank you.
Absolutely.
So we're pretty close to wrapping this up. Thanks, Norm, for your input, and Patrick, I appreciate that. Noah, are you doing anything with, or have any plans for anything with the veterans coming up?
Yeah, so all we've done so far is we've offered discounted rates for the veterans. Obviously, we all have this. Actually, similar to what they're talking about, there's two things this year: Special Olympics and veterans were the two that we were going to look into promoting. You can only do so much each year, obviously, but that was the next step for us as well as an academy. And then also Boys and Girls Club and a few other things. And then with Patrick's really helped us a lot in the Ashland community, reach out, obviously being a parks course, the parks program's there, along with the YMCA. He's introduced us to the program there, which is one of the most successful YMCAs in the country. With what, Patrick, 99,000 members, or how many is it? Something like that? Oh, you're on mute.
It's helpful if you're off mute. I don't remember the exact number, Noah, but it's most of the city is a Y member there in Ashland. It's a very unique situation.
Yeah, so being able to partner with the YMCA is going to be a huge success to grow the game, obviously. And then we also are focused on the parks programming in Medford, which we've been part of through Ed's efforts previously. So yeah, we're trying to expand constantly in our region and in our area first before we ever look anywhere else. This is number one. This is home. So.
In the chat box, Brandon Richardson asked if we had any idea when we'll be back to normal. And I can tell you, Brandon, from my expert seat here on the Oregon board, we don't know. We plan from week to week. Our chapter board meets on a weekly basis. So does our section board. All we can do is prepare and educate our professionals as to what the CDC guidelines are, and to assist them with information whenever we can. But as far as when we're getting back, I have no idea at all. Dominic, you want to wrap up what we've done today? And Chris, do you have anything left to say? Go ahead and add to it.
Oh no, let's wrap it up. Put a bow on it.
So again, I appreciate everybody jumping on the call. I do just want to remind everybody that the phrase of the day was COVID-19. And then next week's chat is scheduled for April 28th, featuring Tim Fraley from Aubrey Glen and Christopher Smith from Eugene Country Club. I'm kind of giving you a little hint. You're going to need some of that information when you complete the form that's on our website right now. You guys can go there now, complete it, and receive 1 MSR and 1 amp for our associates who are on this call. We hope that everybody found this helpful. We are going to do this again. We're going to reconvene here shortly and continue to try to supply everybody with information, best practices, and as well as hear from you guys that are out there. Maggie, thank you. Noah, thank you. Tyler, thank you for joining us from Michigan. We appreciate that. We hope that you might be able to join us again. So,
one last plug for, as many of you know, I'm on the radio every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, and I know some of you are up by then. It's the only day of the week I get up that early. But we will have we're hosting John Bodenhammer from the USGA this Saturday. We'll be talking about the challenges the USGA is having as far as the World Handicap situation going forward, and their scheduling issues. So things have been kind of tough as far as the tour is concerned. So if you're not doing anything early Saturday morning, join me.
I love it, Harold. Always working it.
Yeah, you got it. Well, and Noah will tell you, there's nothing wrong with self advertising and putting yourself out there. That's the way we get ahead. As long as you're
bag in the back.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I want to thank Noah and Maggie for being a part of this. We certainly appreciate your contributions to teaching in Portland, Vancouver area and in Southern Oregon. Look forward to having you join us April 28th for the next one, if you're able to. And we will, I encourage members and associates who need MSR or AMP points to go online and fill out that brief survey proving that you were actually here and listening. So thanks so much to everyone. See you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Good to see you, Blaine. Hey, Blaine, where's home for you now? Where are you at? I'll try to unmute you.
Hey, did that work?
There you go.
Hey,
Where are you at now?
I'm in North Carolina right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I'm glad you're able to.
Yeah, everything's been kind of pushed back with my plans and everything, but yeah, we're still going strong, and schedule worked out perfectly today. I was like, I gotta hop on this one, so it was really informative. I'm glad to hear what everybody's able to do during this crisis.
What's the burpee count at?
I'm glad you said that. I still have to do them today, and I'll tell you what. What's harder than doing the number that I'm doing each day is procrastinating and doing them late in the day.
Exactly. What's the number?
But, today I will hit, I think it's 9,951. So yeah, the total will be 11,000 come Saturday. So we're getting there.
Nice.
Hey,
Wow,
I see
that's
Chris
impressive.
Johnson. Chris Johnson's on here. Chris is new to the Oregon chapter. He comes from Colorado, I believe. Welcome, Chris, to the Oregon chapter. Michael, thanks for jumping on. Brandon, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you being here.
This is a very poor wrap-up.
Well,
Just have to say.
yeah, I was
Sorry.
just,
This is
it's set-
extremely poor wrap-up. We're it's like squirrel.
I think I can end it for everybody right now. All right.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. See ya.
Thanks.